So we just moved, and it's crazy, right? It's a lot of stuff all at once. But I was thinking, what's a good tip I could impart from a mistake? Um, Remember where the hell your razor is, because you start getting like kind of scruffy, and then you have to record a YouTube video. Yeah. Ruins of Kunark will be launching, or has launched, depending on when you're watching this, on June 23rd, 2021 for the Thornblade and Mischief servers on EverQuest. With Kunark, the level cap will raise from 50 to 60, and the best in-game race, the Ixar, will be added to the game along with a treasure trove of great content. This is the expansion where I actually first started playing EverQuest, all the way back in 2001. Kinda old. So I actually experienced my first level grind, 1 through 60, completely in Kunark. Because this expansion is a whole experience expansion, it offers a lot of variety in the leveling path, so we're going to revisit 1 through 50, as well as cover how best to get from 50 to 60 when Kunark launches. Because I know a lot of you are already going to be level 50 or close to level 50, we're going to go in reverse order, so you can get to the levels that you don't have yet, instead of having to listen to me drone on and wax nostalgic about how this may have been one of the best expansions of any game ever made. But if you could, once you have the information you need, please drop a like, maybe even a subscription. How about a comment telling me, hey, what zones do you plan XPing in? What zone path are you excited about trying? Are there zones that I missed that you think are really good? Let us know, because hey, at least there's instancing. We'll start with level 54 to 60. Chardock. Chardock is where it's at. The faster spawn rates, readily available named, and higher level mobs are great for grinding those last levels. There are several camps all throughout the zone, and you'll be sure to see tons of picks in the early going. The absolute best spot, in my experience, to grind out the last couple levels through to 60 in Kunark is the kennels, though you'll need a strong group to do this. This is a tough area, but if you can keep up with the pace, it's fantastic. Honorable mentions goes to Seblite Golems and Seb, but Kennels will still edge out those Golems in XP per hour in my experience with similar groups. If you're struggling to find a group, you can kite. Skyfire remains one of the better places to do so, except for those damn Chroma Drakes and their Dispel. Yeah. Skyfire is also one of those zones that has a lot of epic drops for the epics that come out with Kunark, so it's probably going to be a zone where you can do parts of your epic or help others do parts of their epic while kiting. For level 50 to 54, those of you that have already done the necessary grinding in Classic through tears and cursing at OOT Goblins or Soul B or Elguk, you are rewarded with more frogs. Your best bet is going to be Old Sibyllus or Sebilus, however you want to pronounce it, which requires a very short key quest completed in the preceding zone, Trachodon's Teeth. Kill a Froglok Hunter, kill a Froglok Forager, loot their medallions, turn them into Emperor Ganak. At the south of the zone, get Seb Key. That's really all there is to it, and it'll be pretty easy to get done when you're there. Quick note though, those Frogloks have Sow, so you will not be able to outrun them, so come prepared. For experience, I stick mostly to the frogs or Seb Golems and avoid the mushrooms. The shrooms tend to slow everything down with inopportune gating, healing through walls, harm touches, and just being jerks in general. In short, there's no fun from the fun guy. Shit. That was just bad. Moving on. Honorable mention goes to the Hole and Chardock. The Hole will still have some decent mobs, especially deep in, ghosts and golems for instance. And Chardock, up toward the top, has a few decent camps at that level. The spawn rate at Chardock is much faster than other zones, so you'll be able to get through mobs quicker. For solo and kiting, I'd go with Burning Woods over Skyfire at this level. I feel like you'd have better luck in Burning Woods than Skyfire, because Skyfire tends to be a little bit harder. Now, there is a what if zone in this level range. It's one zone I did not mention, largely due to the uncertainty around it. Howling Stones. This zone is worth experiencing just for how different it is with all of its traps compared to the other zones in the 50 to 60 range. The problem with this zone is keying for it. This could be made easier or harder on Mischief Thornblade due to the randomness of loot. It remains to be seen. If you can get the Prod and the Fang, give Howling Stones, a Sora, a try. It's a fun experience, if sometimes frustrating. Level 35 to 50. Well, all the options from Classic remain, and they're still viable, but we've already touched on those in the previous 1 through 50 video, so we'll avoid those and focus on the new and exciting ones. Better ones. City of Mist is my go-to with its high risk-reward ratio. NPCs in COM tend to have lower HP but hit hard, especially the named. For years, this has been my go-to from around 35 plus. I love this zone. I spent countless hours in it. It's got some cool history and lore to it too. It's just a fun zone to explore. And remember that it does not end when you get to the fort at the back. You go in there. There is going to be a Black Reaver, so be careful. You go in there, you can go up and up, 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 up. And there's some really cool stuff up at the top, so give it a try. Honorable mention goes to the combination of 3 zones that are all connected. Karnar's Castle, Dreadlands, and Burning Woods. Both Dreadlands and Burning Woods offer kiting opportunities, while Karnar's Castle has good loot opportunities. I wouldn't say any of these zones stands out as having better experience than any of those. Karnar's Castle may kind of slide towards the less experience but more loot than the other ones. It definitely has a lot more loot than the other ones. I'll make that clear. But it's I don't know. I have nostalgic memories of Karnar's Castle being great, but yeah, some of it's kind of rough. Be aware though that if you are an evil race, Karnar's Castle is going to be one you want to avoid until you have bought all of your spells at the over there. Killing at Karnar's Castle will irreparably harm your faction with that outpost, so be careful. Quick note, because some of these zones that we've mentioned will have these, if loot is found on Zam that has a level requirement or recommendation, it won't be in these early expansions. I'm talking Classic, Kunark, Velius, and Luclin, however you want to pronounce it. In those expansions, there were no level requirements, so that's an easy way to visually see this loot is from later expansions that was added back to existing loot tables. So really, a lot of the stuff that you see listed, like COM is a very good example of this, because there is some great loot in COM. But on progression servers, any of that loot that has a level requirement is not going to be there. Be prepared when you're in COM to kill a named and get nothing. That might be completely different on Mischief and Thornblade, and I really hope it is, because if it's not specifically that loot table, you could be getting loot from all other Kunark named that are that level. So that's what I'm hoping for. We'll just have to wait and see how it happens. The over there is my standout zone in this era, but for some of that, it may just be nostalgia. I have strong memories of sitting on the wall near Skyfire, or at the hill towards the Frontier Mountains, just chilling and pulling. It's a very relaxing grind, but no real loot possibilities. Also, if you're a good race, please avoid the Dragoons, or don't, because it's kind of hilarious when they just yeet you out of existence. More than honorable mention, perhaps even with the over there, is going to be Frontier Mountains, specifically the Giant Fort. The Giant Fort is just it's a traditional camp where you sit there, pull to a specific place. It's got lots of giants. It can probably support, I would say, 2 to 3 groups, depending on how fast the groups are killing. For level 15 to 25, I have to give special nod here to Lake of Ill Omen, a truly fun zone for me, killing Sarnax at the Sarnak fort. This is one of those zones with a large level range too. You can start here as a newbie Ixar and just carry yourself through. Not to 60, but you can carry yourself pretty far in this zone. Honorable mention here is going to go to Warsilk's Woods, which has some great forest giant models, goblins, Ixar pariahs, and just a really interesting zone to explore. It's just it's a little bit of a change from some of the more open zones in the rest of Kunark. Finally, level 1 through 15. The gem zone is going to be Field of Bone, which leads easily into Kern's Tower and or Lake of Ill Omen. For aspiring Necros and Shadow Knights, this is the phenomenal place to get stacked up on bone chips for your further adventures. That's all I have today. I hope you find this helpful. Please, again, if you have other zones that you think were good or left out, like, you know, Crypt of Dalnir, Swamp of No Hope, even Emerald Jungle. If you have zones that you have personally enjoyed leveling in, leave it down in the comments. Help people out. Help people find places that you have enjoyed. Remember, we're a good community, and hey, we have pick zone. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. It means the world to me, and I hope this helped. If it did, please leave a like down there at the bottom somewhere. You'll probably find another video up here and the subscription button up here. It's been great hanging out with you. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.